Hey there everyone, Hanyou here, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1, Onikakushi. It's a very long title, bit of a mouthful, but I'm actually enjoying the story so far, even though we haven't really gotten that deep into it yet. So picking up where we left off last time, let's jump right in, shall we? Kichi-kun, you're not free perhaps? When Mion and while Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Rina peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring it a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologize, I'm free. Great. The trepidation disappeared from Rina's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Rina, isn't there? Seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rina. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rina forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rina. Maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind. Huh? Whoa, if Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then... I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Mebara? I think that's the first time seeing his last name. Last name. It'd be great if the two of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rina? If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food. Maybe. Don't you ignore me too, Rina. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together. I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow's going to be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan, bye. Rina bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rina want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Rina. You need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should. This old geezer will root for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rina's infallible technique. You have received new tips. We're a mixed grade and... We're a mixed grade, we don't have a uniform. What's this? Wait. Hold on, what happened? So Rina, we're the same age? Yep, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too. Hey now, it would be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. Ha 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 ha. What month were you born, by the way, Keiichi-kun? I'm July. Rina smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Heh. Don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month. Whoops. Huh? Huh? Why? Why? Rina panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun, and I can't help it. Can't help myself. So that means you were born in April, Kei-chan? Right on. Too bad, Rina. I'm already far older than Rina. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me, Chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm one to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're an underclassman, then I can be an underclass. If you're into underclassmen, I can be an underclassman from now on. Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Rina's blushing face, you can tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? Satoko and Rika-chan. Probably, I thought I read that as Rina. Okay, Keiichi-kun. Your tastes are a bit too young, I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Rina. I'll just grab onto her head and scuff it up a bit. Oh, stop it! Alright, so these are like flashbacks, right? I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why the school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms, can't help it. This building is being rented for the forestry services, after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. Though our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Apparently I'm a bit dyslexic today and the words are mixing up. But it's late, I'm a little tired, so that's also probably why. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever before the war. It got dilapidated, they closed it down. It's probably a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital and head toward the pediatrics department? What? So far. I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rina's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinamiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending the Suedo schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There's quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right. I totally agree with Rina on this one. Yes, that's right. Let's try our best. All of you try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just smooch off K-chan as he works forever. Well, what do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It was just as Mion says, this school has nothing to do with higher education, but it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Okay, so that whole segment was mixed grade, so next up was we don't have a uniform. It's only June, but it's already so hot. I can hear the Higurashi outside chirping, me, me, and at night there are mosquitoes. It might as well be summer already. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare. Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she still was a girl. Kichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during this season and how steamy the crotch gets. Oh boy. It gets steamy? Oh. This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Rina's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Ahahaha. Thank you. You really do feel pretty cool. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rina's. But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being a one-piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. What you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. Aw. I had a feeling that Rina and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Why, yes, Mion supplied them. Mi-chan's relative runs a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then. That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. Drinking game. Every time he says second-hand clothing store, take a shot. What's the point in stocking up from faraway schools they know nothing about? Yeah, I think so too. They always used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like that shop makes much money. They probably have me pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion says it'll be a big hit and become a great store. With such conviction, a second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. I don't get it. Alright, that does it for the tips. I will save. I'll save over this one. I'm gonna do an alternating save system, just to be on the safe side in case audio failure happens again. Alright, continuing on. I took it a little easy on the morning of my day off. It was totally late. I was totally late. Today was the day Rina and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. They look rather great, actually, and I like how Rina looks like Sakura from Card Captors right now. That's actually very cute. I love it. Mion looks great too. She's got like a gym athlete thing going. Rina and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. K-chan, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rina did make a picnic. K-chan, after you left, Rina pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know? Can you take responsibility for this? Alright, I'm a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look at Rina, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rina we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Ahaha, let's get moving. Heave-ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only thing in there were lunch boxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. Won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. You know, one thing I forgot to mention about the whole help getting your kid into the kitchen, teaching them how to cook and stuff like that I mentioned in the last episode is it really... the more you know about cooking and the more you learn how to cook and the more you get interested in cooking and stuff like that, and the more things kids are willing to try, the less picky eaters they become, and the more willing they are to try new things. And that is very, very important, because I've known a lot of picky eaters. There's a few in my own family, actually, that they're very choosy about what they eat, and it's like, how can you be so picky about what you eat when there's so many good and interesting and just, well, fantastic foods out there that you're missing out on. I mean, there's just so much stuff that some people think, oh, that's gonna be that looks bad, or that's going to taste bad, or I don't like it despite the fact I've never tried it before. It's just a bad mindset to get in, because try it. Chances are you'll like it. I mean, there's so many fantastic things out there in the world to eat, you know? I keep hitting the freaking wrong mouse button. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mibara-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All these passerby even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people. When all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's sad to say, everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamazawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Mibara fellow who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you can only pull off in a place like this. It was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamazawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takezo. from the Makino bike shop. Makino. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next, we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles. Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rina exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Keiichi Mibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you've switched over to wearing boxers. I'm very curious how she knew what underwear I was wearing. And personally, I prefer boxer briefs, thank you. Didn't you? That's enough. But boxers? Enough of that. Apparently, there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you also think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "you're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful to see you getting along. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Mibara-kun, how wonderful for you having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Rina and Mion, they gave me a wink. So, now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Rina's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can. But it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan, leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I expected no less from the class representative. And you know what? We are going to end this here, so if you enjoyed this episode, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. And until next time, everybody, have a good one. I'll see you later. Bye!